Hello everyone and welcome back to Digi@.com, a platform where we make life simple for management students worldwide. In this video on the subject of service marketing, we are going to cover the topic on place, which means how do you distribute a service. The video highlights the element of place in the gamut of service industry. Services don't follow the same distribution pattern as followed in tangible goods. This video covers the details of service location and the deliverer or service. The video also covers the examples of brands such as Singapore Airlines, Ritz-Carlton and Domino's Pizza in perfecting their service location game. So now let's start with how do you distribute services. How do you distribute services? Distribution is a process of transferring goods from the place of production to the place of consumption. In case of tangible goods, the distribution system involves the use of a network of intermediaries for distribution. In some cases, the goods are distributed directly. Now in the case of services, they are inseparable from the service provider and can neither be stored nor transported, nor is their ownership or title passed along the channel line. Due to their peculiar characteristics of services, the placing of services should not be treated in the same line as that of tangible products. Moving on, there are certain services where the service provider has to be present personally in order to deliver the services according to their specifications. For example, Starbucks. On the other hand, there are certain services which do not require this presence of a service provider. Example, ATM. In services, distribution means provision of personal services and information to the customer which adds value to the service. Services must be available at the right time and at the right place, and it should be accessible with care and convenience by which the customer can avail the services. Moving on to the location of service premises, as in the choice of location. The place of service delivery is very important. The decision regarding location is very much concerned with the selection of site from where the delivery of service takes place. The accessibility and availability form an important base for location of service premises. Accessibility refers to the convenience with which a service can be purchased, used or received. Availability refers to the extent to which a service is obtainable or capable of being purchased, used or received. Moving on, let's look at the factors that are important while selecting a service location. Number 1, the nature of service. Services are perishable and inseparable from the service provider. In such a case, there is less flexibility and more cost involved in setting the location. For instance, in case of restaurant and banks, the location must be convenient to the customer as the customer has to go to the service provider. Next, nature of interaction. The nature of interaction may differ from services to services. The question here is where the service is to be delivered, whether at the place of service provider or at the place of the customer. Next, customer needs and wants. According to a market segment, the customer wants and needs may differ. There are customers who may rate convenience as a major criteria for service, while some others may want some special feature of the service and are willing to go to any location. Next, natural geographical location. There are certain services that do not have a choice of location. In case of holidays in the hill station or on beach, they are dependent on geographical locations rather than the convenience factor of both the customer and the firm. In these cases, these locations are predetermined and therefore the service provider must try and manage other elements of marketing in order to attract the customer. Next, technological advancement. Automation has advanced to such an extent that there is a great reduction in the choice of location decisions. In case of banking services, with the introduction of the ATMs, it is possible to separate the service provider from the customer. Next, dependency on other services. There are certain services like medical services, example X-ray, diagnostic laboratories and pharmacies, that are dependent on each other and therefore they are required in clusters of associated services and products. Next, infrastructure facilities. There are certain services which require rapid communication facilities with the other companies, example financial services. They are to be located in large and highly developed cities with excellent communication. And finally, target market decisions. The location must be closer to the largest customer, taking into consideration the infrastructure facilities available to access to the location. It should be easier for the target market to reach the service outlet. Next, intermediaries for service distribution, in this case, the choice of channel. A service distribution channel refers to the sequence of intermediaries or middlemen involved in moving the service from the producer to the customer. The popularly used channels of distribution are, first, franchisees. Franchisees are service outlets licensed by a principal to deliver a unique service concept it has created or popularized. For example, McDonald's uses a lot of franchises all over the world. Next are agents and brokers. Agents and brokers are representatives who distribute and sell the service of one or more service suppliers. And finally, the one that is famous of all are the electronic channels. Electronic channel includes forms of service provision through television, telephone, interactive media, and computer. Many financial and information services are currently distributed to electronic media such as banking, bill payment, education, etc. Now moving on to some examples of place. The first one being Marriott International, set to launch luxurious Ritz-Carlton Reserve brand of Saudi Arabia. Marriott International has signed an agreement with the Red Sea Development Company to launch its luxurious Ritz-Carlton Reserve brand off the west coast of Saudi Arabia. Set to debut in 2023 as Najuma, a Ritz-Carlton Reserve is expected to be part of the highly anticipated Red Sea destination. Najuma will be located on a set of private islands which are part of the Red Sea's Blue Hole cluster of islands. Surrounded by natural beauty and designed to mix with the environment, the resort will feature 63 1 to 4 bedroom water and beach villas. Next, Singapore Airlines increases services to Australian cities. Singapore Airlines will increase its operation to 4 times to key Australian cities. This will entail daily flights to Melbourne, while the frequency of Darwin and Cairns will increase to 5 times weekly. In line with the increase in operations, Singapore Airlines has invested around 230 million Singapore dollars in the development, design and installation of new cabin products. Ultimately, the growth in services to Australian destinations can be attributed to the region's peak period, which will ultimately support the recovery efforts of local tourism in the country. And the final example of Domino's India, which reduced the delivery time from 30 minutes to 20 minutes. Domino's Pizza in India has reduced the delivery time for 60% of its online orders to 20 minutes. Jubilean Foodworks owns the exclusive master franchise rights of the international pizza chain in India. The rationale behind the shorter delivery time was to improve customer service and leveraging the opening of new outlets closer to consumer homes. The pizza chain has put into place a fortressing strategy which entails aggressively expanding its store count in existing markets to lower delivery times further. Jubilean currently operates about 1,500 Domino's stores in India, and the plan is to take it to up to 3,000 stores. So that's it, folks. This brings an end to the topic on how to distribute services. These are the list of sources and links referred to for the content in the video. Thank you.